reference to DUTs. Okay. And based on this criteria or this scope, we are thinking to do like 5 testing domains, like which you also describe on your documents. We're focusing on connectivity, stability, battery life, power management, latency, performance KPIs, and sensing and image qualities. And we also list our approach on each of those domains. So for the connectivity, we are focusing on the major access points and do some testing regarding interference conditions and make sure the video quality is good. For battery-wise, we will check different power levels and different simulation profiles, make sure the battery life is good. Latency, we'll do some user scenarios, including our box, including some user usage, and to make sure that the latency is good, performance is good. And sensing, as you know, we have done some sensing tests for Albin. So yeah, so we add those sensing items into this proposal as well. And last but not least, we have these image quality proposals. Okay. And this will be our proposals on the test cycles. So we are thinking 2 weeks test cycles. So a full validation will be two weeks. Okay. And of course, we can do some customization based on if we find any critical issues. As we know, based on your document, currently is code red. There were some issues with like MCU and other things, so we can also do customization of the items that we would like to test. And of course, we will record all the firmware and all the hardware revisions, so we can pinpoint which firmware, which hardware has the issues, and we can mitigate and narrow down. Okay. And of course, milestone alignments, we're focusing on the targets and make sure that it's good for go, no-go decisions. Okay. And for Allian, we can provide several resources. We have indoor, outdoor test sites. We have labs. We have real house. And we are ready to prepare RF or network test equipment. So we will prepare a lot of access points, a lot of client devices to test against the cameras and the doorbells. Okay. And we will prepare the engineers, experts who are familiar with those embedded systems, firmwares, and MCU troubleshootings. And we will capture the logs and the cross dumps and those things for you to have your engineers and experts to troubleshoot what's going on there. And of course, we will prepare the necessary image and power measurement equipments, including software equipments and hardware equipments, and also power measurement equipments like power meters or VAQs and those kind of things for power life measurements. Okay. All right, let's talk about the first domain. So first one will be connectivity. So we are thinking to the user experience test scenarios. So basically, we will set out Wi-Fi access points with the cameras and doorbells under 2.4 and 5 gigahertz and encryption with WPA3 and do some testing with that. And we will have different scenarios. We are thinking to do like a heavy usage, internet usage to make sure the camera stream is good. And we have listed out some of the KPIs we think is suitable for that scenario. And also your ecosystem, we would like to test with your ecosystem, including your home, your assistant. And we'll make sure the stream goes is good. And there are several criteria we define, like 4 seconds, or we can define less. Okay. And also we would like to do.
Thomas, I have a question on the previous slide.
This one?
I think you stopped presenting. Can you?
Oh, did I lose the screen? Sorry.
Yes, you lost the screen sharing.
Okay, yeah, it happens to my. Sorry, let me share the screen again. So is it good? Can you see the screen?
No.
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 No. Okay. Sorry. See. Let me try to share. That's weird.
Thomas, or I can maybe speak based on what I saw. Basically, what I
Okay.
wondered was like you mentioned like different network conditions and clip upload. Like basically, the
Yes.
video upload was what you were testing, right? So
Yes.
what we want is something that is good actually, but we also want to make sure we can pair the device using a different network, like for example, different routers, which is also needed, like all the different router interoperability. That is one thing. Second thing is your router can be set to different network modes, right? So this is a battery device, and how is the device operating in that condition? More than clip upload, what is more important is at this point, can the device stay alive in the network condition? Meaning, if somebody is trying to access a live view in battery mode, what will happen is the device will basically, there's a request into camera cloud, then it will talk to the device and wake up the device from sleep, right? So that is what we have to ensure we cover those kind of scenarios than really like heavy internet usage here.
Okay. So basically, we are thinking to do like 20 access points. So within our scope, we will select like a major 20 access points to test. If that's
Yeah,
what
20
you
access
like.
point. I thought you have more than that.
Yeah, we are more than that. Yeah, sure. Definitely, we can discuss how many access point we would like to test.
Yeah, I think Apple ecosystem, if you can go back to, I saw your slide again briefly, but Apple ecosystem and that part, I guess we can strike that off. We probably.
Right. On my proposal, I slide off. So let me share my revised. So.
So basically, the problem statement here with the connectivity is that with different network conditions, can you pair your device? Can the device stay online?
Yes.
And that is the problem statement that we are trying to solve here with the
Right.
connectivity.
Okay. Sure.
I guess one context we can share is that since this is a new device and we're in the sort of the relatively early stages, it's more about actually getting it to set up and successfully work even before we go into further use cases like heavy internet use or ecosystem. So at this point, we are somewhat in the initial stages. So
sure,
it's all about like, hey, is the device able to set up across various network conditions?
Sure. We will revise those scope. Okay. And we can also do the motion sensitivity. So based on different kind of day or different light conditions, we can test with those cameras. One of the example will be brightly lit or moderately or poorly lit conditions. Yeah, this will be one of the proposals
I think
we can do.
You already talked to, you might be talking to Alvin, right? So basically there are two ways the device can wake up. One is like using radar, and there is also a PIR sensor.
Yes.
Yeah, so both ways this device can get, like you can wake up the device.
Yes.
So at this point, what we want is like, since as Aparna mentioned, this is like early stages, what we want is like at different, like at the same condition, comparing against like a reference device or a competitor device,
Sure.
how is the sleep or wake cycles for this camera?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we are also thinking to do interference. I'm not sure if this is too early to do that, but we do prepare proposals on this. So based on setup with access point in the cameras, we will also inject some interference, make sure the streaming is good. So we can use TV, tablet, smartphone, notebooks, those kind of things.
Yeah, I think this is also very early in the testing cycle.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
we might probably want to do is something like a, I don't know, RVR kind of testing where we,
Oh, okay. RVR.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, RVR and maybe compare against like a competitor device or a,
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Even-
add that
even a-
to the next proposals. RVR. Okay.
yeah, or you already have the data for our 1P devices, right? You are anyway testing the Google devices. So
Mm-hmm.
just having that comparison, you might already have the data ready. Just have this device compared against that data. That might be more relevant scenario right now,
Okay.
considering the
Okay.
device is going through like antenna tuning and stuff like that. So
Okay.
this interference test might be too early.
Okay. We will add the RVR to our next proposal. Okay. All right. And for the stabilities, we are thinking to do the long duration testing. Okay. So basically, we are thinking to do several like 48 hours or longer, or different kind of conditions. So you can see, and we have defined some criteria for that. So we are trying to catch like firmware issues and probably memory issues, those kind of things. Okay. I'm not sure if my screen is out. Yeah, so this one. So we are trying to catch camera firmware issues, memory issues, or stability. 因为它这样会跳, I don't know why. Yeah,
Thomas,
so
actually, one more thing, maybe if I may interrupt you. So
sure.
the whole goal of stability is that we want to make sure the battery mode works fine,
Sure,
and
sure.
more than the line power mode. So if we are in a battery mode, some of the stability metrics that we care about is when you're trying to access the device over Google Home app or any of the app that the camera supports, is the device waking up reliably? That is one metric. Second
Mhm.
metric is are you always getting the live view when you access it?
Sure.
Third thing is when you are walking in front of the screen or the camera's field of view, is the device reliably waking up every time? That is number
Okay.
three.
Okay.
Third or fourth thing is like, if there is nothing happening, is the device randomly crashing and rebooting and waking up? That is basically the stability. So
Okay.
we need to make sure we capture all those four things,
Sure.
not just like zero crashes, zero leaks. Like,
Mhm.
is the device working reliably for a normal user?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So video transmission reliability, for example, in this case, or continuous live view quality. So continuous live view won't work in battery mode. So in battery mode, it will only work as a event-based recording. For example, if something happens in front of the camera, the device will wake up. Or
Mhm.
if there is a live view attempt, then the device will wake up. So continuous video live view will work. Even that also got like timeout. Like you cannot have more than 5 minutes of live view because we'll go back
Okay.
to sleep. Yeah.
Okay. We'll revise that. Okay.
Yeah, one thing maybe I can suggest is if you share the slide deck, we can comment.
Sure. Yeah,
Maybe just
definitely.
give, that way, since this seems to be quite a bit of feedback, let's make sure we capture it here.
Sure. Of course. We will send that after the meeting.
Thank you.
Maybe you already have that in the later slide. Sorry, I'm commenting all these things ahead of time because I'm seeing it now. But if you already have these things captured in the further slides, please let me know.
Okay. And for the battery and power management, we are thinking to do several simulations of the usage and to measure the power state, the sleep state, using power meters, DQA or other equipments. Because we have done this with the radar testing we did with Albin. So yeah, so we can do that with this project as well. So we'll try to trigger using human and make sure that the power state is correct and how much battery life is used.
Say, for example, if you want to define a case where for an average user, there is like every day there is a 10 live view attempt or 5 sleep wake cycles for using PIR. We give this criteria. Can you like test it against a few set of devices and report like the battery life, how it is performing? Like a P50 device might have something like 10 live view every day or 5 PIR wake every day, 5 radar wake every day, some numbers like that. If you give that kind of data, can you monitor it across like, I don't know, 5-6 devices and get this back with what is a realistic battery life consumption every day?
Okay, we'll try to propose that with the next proposals. Okay.
Okay.
And for the latency, we are trying to do 8 scenarios, like power cycle, internet loss, live view, congestion testing, and to measure how fast the device behaves. Okay. So we'll do like 50 reboots or network restoration and make sure that the camera or the doorbell connects within 15 seconds, those kind of things. And live view is good for 10 minutes or so, 0 drops. And congestion, probably this is too early, but yeah. And event trigger. Yes.
What is your experience with congestion testing? Do you see issues generally with other devices with congestion testing?
Yeah, so sometimes when we try to inject like different traffics and maybe the streaming videos, or we'll have some frame drops or those kind of things. We saw that with some other devices, so we think if you are interested, we can also do similar items as well.
Yeah, I think this might be a little bit early.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we can put in the later stage. Okay.
Yeah.
And for the event trigger, yeah, like you mentioned, we will test to make sure those events are correct. So it takes like 60 minutes with several event triggers. Make sure those are captures, those events are triggered. Okay. And for the weekend scenario, we'll do like 48 hours scenarios. I'm not sure that's good for battery, but yeah, that's one of the proposals. And OOB and OTA, those are listed under your document. So yeah, we'll make sure first time setup rate is 100% for the 10 cycles, and OTA updates are also 100% correct. Okay.
Okay.
And for the sensing, we have done this with Albin. So basically those items are very identical. So we'll do some setup like this one. So we'll, for example, we'll do the approach walk or perpendicular walks, and we'll set up. We'll leverage this facility in our Nantou locations. We have 30 meters by 30 meters facility, so we can test. And we will do some marking, like angle marking, distance markings, path markings, and we'll do some measurements on that. So basically, the items are very similar to what we did. So we'll do like force triggers and rejections, those kind of things, as well as we'll test with different objects like fan or robotic vacuums or trees or plants or waters, those kind of things, if you are interested.
Okay, that's good.
And last, we would like to focus on image and video qualities. So basically, we will leverage some of the industrial methodologies. So we are focusing on like MTF50 criteria. So we'll leverage one of the softwares to do this kind of testing. As well as we are using some ISO charts to do some comparisons. So we will do the sharpness, sharpening, color accuracy, delta C, color saturations, white balance, using that software. And dimensioning range and noise levels, those kind of things. Yeah, all this will leverage the softwares and ISO charts. Okay. And the last one, we'll do some field testing. So we'll have like office scenario, daytime, evening scenarios. For this one, we will do like a 5-point ratings or side-by-side comparisons. So yeah, we can do a capture on your product as well as competitors' product, and we can do comparison using 5 points or side-by-side comparisons. Okay, and oh, forgot. For the frame per second, we will use professional equipment to do the camera measurements of the FPS. That's a professional equipment. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so basically we'll leverage a real environment since we have a dedicated facility for that. We have a real house, and we'll set out several positions to do the testing. We can set out several locations or elevations. Okay. And also we will do some comparisons that I mentioned. So basically we can test like several scenarios, like a doorway scenarios. This is popular, so you can check the package and the delivery person and to make sure everything was fine. And some other scenarios that this one, like a belly visitor with very strong high contrast scenario. And for the nighttime, we will test using this scenario here. Yeah. Yeah, so we can do several scenarios from far to near, near to far, lateral, no one scenarios. As well as for the indoor, we can test several scenarios as well, like low light or daytime in the in-house. So we will place the cameras in different locations in the house and to test how the streaming goes. Yeah. So same thing, or we have different scenarios, far to near,
Thomas,
no
we
object.
lost you again.
Oh,
We
sorry.
lost-
I don't know what's going on with my screen. Yeah, sorry. Let me share that screen. Yeah. So can you see the screen? Yeah, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, so for outdoor, we have several scenarios, and as well as indoor, we have also.
Maybe we can go to the next slides because
Okay, this one.
once you share it, we can review like the image quality scenarios and comment if there are anything that needs to be added or to be removed. Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay. And yeah, so basically we will do that's our strategic thing. So we will try to make sure the streaming, the image is good. So we will read those for example, the package, what's the text or the face is clear or not. And make sure the sharpness is good. And for the video clips, we'll do like a 60 seconds of the video recordings. And for the work scenarios, we'll make sure that's 1 meter per second. That's a typical human walking speed. And for image evaluation, yeah, we'll do human face.
Yeah,
center
maybe
and four corners.
Thomas, if you don't mind, if we can skip the image quality section. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so pretty much we would like to provide deliverables and reporting. So we'll provide master test plans and all the companions documents, test cases, libraries. And what we are thinking is that we will provide weekly reports and also a data sets of those 5 domains. And we will give you a competitive benchmark scorecards of your products against other competitor products, including Ring or Arlo or Eufy or all those kind of cameras. And we'll give you a final test report and all those evidence package, including clips, captures, packet trace, those kind of things. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it from our side. And also, of course, we would like to do for issue escalation and reporting, since this is code red. So if we find any critical issues, we'll feedback within 24 hours. And if we find any major or minor issues, we'll report within 48 hours or in the next week. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for our proposals. Any questions, comments, concern, complaints so far?
Yeah, I think it looks really comprehensive, well thought out, and you've captured most of the things we had talked about as high level scope. So this is covering, in fact, a lot more than what we would like to start out with. It's not that we don't want to cover all of this, but it's actually the fact that the device is in an early stage, and before we go into some of the advanced scenarios, we want to make sure it's robust for the very fundamental behavior. So that would be our initial scope, and then as the device evolves and reaches a better stability, we can go into like more complex scenarios.
Sure.
Yeah, and like I said, I think maybe Ashok, we can comment on the slides for a little bit more of like the specifics that we care about. But I think this is actually really covering all of the aspects that we care about, and I don't think I don't, at least from my end, I don't have any concerns.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, Sampurna mentioned like a lot of our immediate requirements are around like, is the system stability fine? Do we need to make any changes to the hardware? So you cover like everything here. That is great. But some of the things we might have like an immediate requirement, which is more around like stability and Wi-Fi connectivity, those kind of areas. And PIR.
And battery life, that's really it. So I think we should, we can give you what our P0 scope is.
Okay.
Like maybe we highlight in the slide deck that this is P0. P0 means that's the immediate requirement. And then P1 can be like a later requirement if needed.
Sure.
So that might help, further define the scope better.
Okay.
In terms of like, next steps, Gloria and others, like what obviously we will give feedback on the slide deck, but what else?
I think we need to finalize this, how much scope we want to do. So in order for us to provide better, accurate amendment to the SOW and the quotation.
Okay, yeah, I think like I said, we can mark the items that we think are P0, and let's start with the P0 scope. And I think, as you all know, like David is here, he's probably defining scope for the program that he has. And then I think you're also working with our hardware team. So I think a lot of this is going to be reusable for the most part. They're not like unique that you have to like set up different labs or set up additional test cases. A lot of this is just basically going to be reusable. And for the actual test cases themselves, I think we have a pretty well-defined set of tests. So I don't expect you all to actually come up with a lot of those scenarios yourself. We can actually share what we specifically care about. So in that sense, a lot of that discovery and deeper engineering problems may already be solved with what we share with you. Just a heads up on that.
Sure. One last question I have. Would this be also David on Pena? Would this be ongoing? I saw on a proposal so test once every 2 weeks, or this will be on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So to begin with, we obviously, we like my team hasn't worked with you guys. So, to begin with, it will be on and we are in Code Red. So obviously we've heard good, great things of the work you've done. And I actually saw some reports in the past as well. So that's why we approached you guys. So I initially it'll obviously be this evaluation phase where we have specific as needed requests, because again the Code Red requires very specific targeted quick turnaround kind of activities. Maybe it's just battery, maybe it's just longevity, or maybe it's just reboot, right? Like, so that'll be very targeted. But once the capabilities and the engagement is established, I do see this as a very long-term strategic partnership in a way, because most of our, actually almost all of our Eng development team is in Taipei. We have active, folks there as well. It just makes sense to have this established in that long-term sense, once we've proven out our initial pilot with the Code Red. So I do see this as a long term. Thank you, David.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not just cameras. I also work on my team also does thermostats, and we have other I don't know if you already work with Anthony on speakers and whatnot. Like this can prove out to be something that we establish more because we're moving away from our traditional way of working where everything was done in-house. To a more distributed, and especially with Type A being a center of excellence for device activities. So we are shifting our way of working as well. So this would be a good, stepping stone into that long term.
Okay, great.
One more thing, maybe if I can add, is I only define the scope based on what is an immediate requirement for Code Red. On top of that, we do a lot more things like latency KPIs and all. Which is also an ongoing thing. We do that throughout the program life cycle. So this document, whatever I shared, is just limited to what is an immediate requirement as part of the Code Red activities.
Yeah. So let's actually first scope out just what is needed for this immediate phase 0 or P0, and you guys can come back with estimate and let's see how this works out. And then obviously we have a long tail of long term. We have at least 2 years camera roadmap that I know of. So definitely there's a lot more that we can build on. As you all know, we are moving very fast. So it's not in our interest to switch labs and whatnot, because each time we have to train folks. So ideally, I'd like to keep it as an ongoing engagement so that we kind of leverage the learnings from each program to the next.
Okay.
All right. One last question, actually, since Ashok brought up, latency and all of that. Do you all do anything with respect to? Obviously, I saw latency in the slide deck, but because of the geolocation of the servers and so on, the latency can vary depending on where the test is run. Do you have VPNs or things that can actually measure US latency, because the customers are in the US, so we need to see how slow or fast the camera is for US customers? Because your test labs are in Taipei, how is that measurement offset?
Yes, so we can do VPNs.
And is that something you do normally? And do you get like actual US latencies, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's just something we kind of do pretty normal because we have some US local services streaming that we need to use the VPN to actually get access. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good to know. We'll come back on that specific ask later. But for this one, please do share the slide deck. We'll mark the P0, and then let's try to get a quotation on the scope of work that you guys understand from us, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.